NetsBoy, so let's hear what he has to say. His name is NetsBoy, he thinks the world is all over when the Nets just can't play. What up, Net fans? NetsBoy here, bring your latest in your Brooklyn Nets news. Okay, so let's dive right in like I always say every damn week. Let's look at what happened the last few days, last couple weeks with the Nets. The Nets are currently 15 and 23. And, I said in my last NetsBoy episode about 2 weeks ago that I've been very pleased with how this team has played under the circumstances of the fact that they don't have, Jeremy Lin and they don't have D'Angelo Russell. And so not having two of their key guys to be 15 and 23, I'm very pleased. And here we are once again at the beginning of January, brand new year, beginning of 2018. And, yeah, it's been, in my opinion, pretty impressive that this team is where it is. Once again, if you look at the growth of players like Caris LeVert and Spencer Dinwiddie and Hollis-Jefferson, you can see why this team has managed to win 15 games. But the problem with this team, though, is the fact that because these guys are still kind of learning, and developing, well, they're very inconsistent. This Nets team is the definition of inconsistency. 1 minute they'll have some great wins against teams like they just beat the Timberwolves the other night. Before that, they beat the Magic and they beat the Wizards before that. But then they'll have games where they get dominated by teams like the Sacramento Kings, which I was at that game, by the way, the Kings game, and that was the most literally I think it was the worst Nets game I've ever been to, because the Nets were an abysmal team. They were down by 20 in that game. It wasn't even close, even though they did make a comeback at the end to try to make it a game, but it was basically pathetically bad. And Vince Carter didn't even play, and don't even get me started with that. Why the Kings don't play Vince Carter is beyond my comprehension. I mean, he is definitely, you look at the Kings roster, you're trying to tell me he is not a rotational player on that team? He's not at least a better than 3 or 4 of the other wing players that are playing there on that team right now? Are you trying to say that Vince Carter is worse than Garrett Temple? No, Garrett Temple's a journeyman who's completely I have no idea what is going on through over there in Sacramento. Why Vince isn't playing? Like I said, Dave Yeager is supposed to be a great coach. I think he is, but I don't think he knows what the hell he's doing over there in Sacramento. It's like they're just like, hey, let's play all these young players. Okay, I get it. Play the young players, but Garrett Temple's not young, so why is he the start? Reel it back. This isn't about Vince Carter. This is about the Nets. Anyway, but the Nets, on the other hand, like I said, they've looked pretty solid, and you have to be very pleased with the development of a lot of the players. But like I said, they're still extremely inconsistent. You don't know what you're going to get out of this team. I used to sit back and predict every game what's going to be a win or a loss. I can't even really do that right now because we see them beat teams that are very good, like the Timberwolves and Wizards, and like I said, they lose to teams like the Kings. So the true nature of this team is they've got to be more consistent. Mostly on the defensive end, but offensively, the problem once again is the fact that this team is just threes, and whenever they get penetration and they can get some inside presence, then it opens up and they can make their threes. But if you watch this team struggle, it's always the same thing. The threes aren't falling, and then they start trying to jack up even more threes. Hollis-Jefferson's development on the offensive end has been very, very good, and he's got this new triple threat that is very dangerous. He can hit that mid-range jump shot. He can slash to the basket. He can pass out of it. He's really kind of not mastered, but really does very well now in the triple threat, which gives them a sense of offense. But to me, the key for this Nets team moving forward is Jahlil Okafor. Now, he finally played in the game against the Timberwolves, in which I believe he played 11 minutes. He had 2 points, a couple of rebounds. The key to me for this Nets team is him, and this is why I say this. The one thing the Nets lack, and I just said this before, is a consistent guy to give the ball to if the offense is not working. What do I mean by that? If the threes are falling, it's great. The Nets are a great team when the threes are falling and everyone's hitting their threes, and Crab's making threes. Joe Harris, who, by the way, Joe Harris has been amazing as well lately. Joe Harris, Damari Carroll, Spencer Dinwiddie, Karis LeVert, when they're all making their threes, it's all fun and dandy. But when the Nets aren't making their threes, this team struggles to do anything on the offensive end. And unfortunately, without D'Angelo Russell or Jeremy Lin, who are more playmakers who can create their own shot, this team tends to struggle. Now, with Jahlil Okafor, that gives you a interior presence that you can give the ball down to in the post, and he can get you a basket. It's similar to what the Nets did last year with Brook Lopez. Of course, once again, Brook Lopez didn't have the same type of skill players around him, so it was a little bit harder for him. But when the Nets offense went stale, they would just get the ball to Lopez and say, "Okay, Brook, you're our best offensive player. Make a play happen. Either get fouled or post up, and hopefully we get something." That's what I think you're going to see moving forward with the Nets with Jahlil Okafor. Now, he's got to, gradually get to that point. They got to build him up. And Kenny Atkinson said he has to earn his rotation minutes, which I'm sure he will if he has an opportunity to play a little bit. And when it's all said and done, I think that he's a key piece of this Nets team moving forward. And look, if Okafor can become the player that he was his rookie year when he averaged 17 points and 7 rebounds, I think there's no doubt in my mind this Nets team, not this year, but will be a playoff team next season. With the end, if Okafor develops into what we expect him to be, and look, he's got this whole year to figure it out, and that's the thing that I'm looking for the most the rest of this year. How is Okafor going to develop along with the rest of these guys? If Okafor builds up the confidence and becomes the player he was by the end of this year, the way he was his rookie year, goes into next year, get a healthy D'Angelo Russell, just those two guys together, plus Rondae Hollis-Jefferson playing the way he is now, Karis LeVert playing the way he is now, Joe Harris making the shots the way he does, Allen Crabbe in his defense, Spencer Dinwiddie with the development that he's had and he's shown. If all this stuff stays constant, imagine this team. And this is what you get excited about as a Brooklyn Nets fan. You get excited of the possibility of what could happen. And that's not even including Jeremy Lin, who, once again, I said last episode, I believe he will be traded, but you never know. There is a chance that the Nets are going to be like, let's see what happens with Jeremy Lin and D'Angelo Russell and Karis LeVert and Rondae Hollis-Jefferson and Spencer Dinwiddie and Jahlil Okafor. Let's see how this team meshes together. Let's see what happens. So you never know, but it does get you a little excited. Now, that being said, is this Nets team going to ever become anything that great that soon? Probably not, but you have the blueprints. You have the foundation, and that's what I really like about this team moving forward. Even though you don't see it that much right now because D'Angelo Russell's been hurt and Jahlil Okafor has been extremely rusty, there is a legitimate young core here that the Nets have moving forward. And, I'm not even mentioning anything about one of my favorites, Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen, he kind of plateaued a little bit, but he's still a great defensive player and so much fun to watch. That's not even including him. You look at the young players on this Nets team. They got some good young players. Now, the question is there a superstar out of any of those guys? In my personal opinion, I don't think so. I think D'Angelo Russell is an all-star caliber player. I think Okafor is an all-star caliber player. And I think Rondae Hollis-Jefferson and Karis LeVert have potential all-star abilities, but I don't know if that will happen. But you never know. Like I said, it's all about being excited. But moving forward for the Nets this year, it's about just continuing to improve and play consistent on both the offense and defensive end. I think it's really interesting that the Nets have won like 10 games of their of their 15 wins. 10 of them have come when they hold their teams to under 100 points or less. So that goes to show you that really the key to this Nets team is defense. And we've seen them do a lot better defensively with Allen Crabbe and has looked really good defensively. And Damari Carroll, he's always been a good defensive player. And obviously Jarrett Allen and his shot blocking ability. So if the Nets continue to play defense the way they've been playing lately, and they continue to get contributions from the players they're getting now, and Jahlil Okafor starts developing a little bit more now, he's getting some minutes and he starts picking it back up, I think this Nets team could be very interesting moving forward. I really do, and I'm excited to see it. But, to me, this is a fun season. A lot of people kind of like, you talk to a lot of basketball people, not necessarily Net fans, basketball people, and they look and say, man, how can you bother watching this Nets team, man? They got no star power. They got no blah, 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 blah. And I look at them, I said, you want to know something? You're right. They don't have star power. but they have a bunch of really hard-playing, hungry young guys who have potential. Maybe not necessarily superstar potential, but they have potential to be legitimate NBA players and legitimate guys for this team in the future. And it's fun to sit back and say, like, how's Karis LeVert going to develop more? Is he going to develop more out of a consistent playmaking? Oh, look, he is. Or is his three-game going to be better? Is his slashing? Is he going to become a better defensive player? How's Hollis-Jefferson going to develop? Oh, wow, we can see this guy. Is he going to be really consistent with his mid-range jump shot? What if he starts being able to learn how to knock down a three? Let's see if he can do that. Oh, let's see how J.J. Okafor is. Can he become the player that he once was before? Can he get 20 and 20 points, 10 rebounds? Let's see that. Oh, what's going to happen with Isaiah Whitehead? He's completely been banned to the G League, but he's somebody that you never know what's going to happen. Hey, maybe he'll come up. Hey, look at Isaiah. All of a sudden now he's got a better capability. He's making his perimeter games better. He's making plays. You know what I mean? There's excitement. There's excitement to see what these players could become. Even if it doesn't mean there's going to be a championship in any type of near future, it just gets you excited. So, like I said, that's what you got to look forward to if you're a Nets fan, and that's what I'm looking forward to. But they just got to be more consistent, and consistency is just really, all about effort, in my opinion. At least on the defensive end, the more consistent you are defensively, with the more consistent effort you put, usually you'll be okay. But we'll see what happens moving forward. The Nets have played really well the last few games, and so let's see the next few games. They have I lost where the Nets are. That's great. The next game they play is against the Celtics this Saturday. Probably going to be a loss, but they played the Celtics tight last game. Then they got the Raptors. They got blown out there. Then they got the Pistons. And they got the Hawks. After the Hawks, they have the Wizards, who they beat earlier, than the Knicks. They don't have an easy stretch of games moving forward, but, I do see them winning at least 2 out of the next 5 games. So, but like I said, you never know, because this team is beating good teams and losing to bad teams. So they got to be more consistent. But, overall, like I said, it's exciting. It's exciting to watch. So there you have it. That's this NetsBoy episode. Keep your eyes open for the next NetsBoy. Let me know how you guys feel about this team. Let me know if you think there's something else that the Nets should do, if it's really just about consistency. Or do you think, do you think that there needs to be a little bit more minutes for Okafor? Or do you think that the Nets maybe need to try to play a different style? Personally, like I said, I think they kind of have what they have, and I think it's pretty legit. I just think they need to get Okafor more involved and be consistent. But let me know what you guys think. And then until then, keep your eyes open for the latest NetsBoy. And so then, this is NetsBoy, signing off.